Leslie Cornwell, certified nurse midwife with Midwifery Business Consultation. I wanted to do a video about leveraging the experts around you. I think midwives, we are so tough and we're so strong and we want to do everything ourselves for our practices, for our clients, because we know what is best for them. And I think it's hard as midwives to be business owners and transition from that self-employment to leverage the experts around us. Our time is our most valuable asset, and we want to focus on taking care of families, doing our own family thing. We want our time to be utilized to the best it can be. And a lot of times midwives, I talk to them about, you're not an expert in marketing, you're not an expert in legal and law. It's not realistic to ask you to be an expert in everything. I want you to be an expert in knowing the ins and outs of your business and the families you serve, and then take a budget and make sure accurately with your business you have people on your team that you can go to that are the best of the best. I always give the example of Henry Ford. He had a massive assembly line, massive corporations. He had an 8th grade education level, and he surrounded himself by experts. He had the best of the best on his team. He knew who to go to for questions. He didn't know very much as far as the specifics of an assembly line and creating what he did in Detroit, but he knew how to run a business. He knew how to get the best of the best in a room and leverage their knowledge and expertise. So I want to talk about some of the people the last few years I've met with that could be great resources for you to reach out to. There's no strings attached. Just get to know them and see if it makes sense to have these experts around you. The first one I always talk about with midwives is marketing. Especially when you're new and getting going, you want to have a great brand. You want your mission to be clearly presented. You want people to know you even exist. If you are well established, you can have momentum off your referrals and the name you've created in the community. But when you're new, the faster you can get going, the sooner you can get the profits and the overhead being paid for, and you're going to get to the level you want to be. So having someone on your marketing team, I like working with Casey Mesmer. There's some other great ones out there. Wild World Mama is a great one as well. So there's some great resources specifically for midwives, and each one is different. So ask with your marketer, do you do websites? Do you do SEO? Do you do social media? Do you help with email campaigns? What do they do to help out the marketing of your practice? The other ones I like to talk about are more of the legal basis. You want to have accountants, lawyers, these experts in the regulatory things, and I'm a big fan of being proactive, not reactive. So an accountant isn't there just to file your taxes. An accountant is there to talk to you biannually, quarterly about how your business is doing, and should we be investing certain things? Should we be putting funds in a certain direction? Should we be putting money in our HSA accounts, our health savings account? Should we be putting money in our retirement, our Roth accounts? Should we be budgeting in December to have marketing or a large purchase on merchandise that's going to lower our taxes and put us in a certain area we want to be better for the next year? Because the problem is too many midwives, they don't know all the tax deductions that we have access to. They don't know how to be really proactive. We tip the government too much as small businesses. So I really encourage you to have a good bookkeeper, have a good accountant on your team. I tend to use Mark Kohler's legal services and accounting services. He has KKOS, and there's another company he is part of. Mark Kohler has a YouTube channel. Like, if you really want somebody that teaches legal and tax and accounting that actually makes the education fun and tells stories and is goofy, and I've listened to him for years, I strongly encourage his YouTube channel. He's got a lot of free emails, resources. Their workshops are very affordable to go to, and even just their legal services. I've worked with their lawyers for years, and it's a great company. So as midwives, we always want to know everything and do everything ourselves, but even if you have a financial agreement, it's a good idea to have a final stamp of approval from a financial, a legal perspective, because if you go to court, there may be clauses, there may be legal wording jargon that makes logic sense to the average consumer and the average us, but on a legal sense, you don't have any defense with it. So it's really important to have an accountant, a lawyer, someone, even if you're not going to have them create the documents for your practice, the contracts, anything that's legally binding that you're signing, those informed consents, I would encourage you to have a lawyer just glance at that knows your local area. So the other one I'd love to talk about is financial planners. A lot of midwives, we like to run our own businesses. We don't trust the healthcare system as much, so we don't trust the financial planning world as much. But there's some few really good ones out there, and I'm the same way. I've got my guard up to the financial system, and are they trying to sell me products and services, or are they really here for me? And I found a great one at Northwestern Mutual. I worked with them for directly over a year and learned the training. It was about 8-9 months. So I really want to stress Northwestern Mutual is different, like the comprehensive planning that's involved, the step-by-step, what you get for initial value in no strings attached at the end if you feel like, okay, this isn't a good fit or right timing. Chris Arnone is a great representative with Northwestern Mutual, and he is out of Michigan. His wife is a doula. They have 6 kids, I believe, and they had him at home with a midwife. So he lives and breathes advocating for birth professionals, and he's a great resource. So reach out to him if you would like some support on the financial planning side, because I stress to that one, many of these resources are going to be 15-minute increments you're paying for, but a financial planner, it's commissions in the backdrops for things that you think might be a good fit for you. So I really encourage you, for most of them anyway, some of them are fee-based, but most are pick their brains, learn, have a customized financial plan made for you, and it doesn't mean you have to sign up for anything. The other ones I like to talk about are billers. A lot of midwives like to be cash. They like to do the billing themselves. They like to be out of network, give their families an itemized list. And I challenge you with the Affordable Care Act, and if you want more GYN services, you want to expand your practice to a larger scale with a team, it's going to be really vital to have insurance processing either in-house or you're outsourcing it. Having the midwives do it directly, you're going to make a lot more mistakes. You don't know all the codes. Unless you have an extensive background in billing and coding, it's not realistic for midwives to be processing their own claims. So I do encourage you. I like to work with Midwives Advantage, and there's a few others out there that are great billing resources, and every single one has a different relationship. So make sure you interview everyone and see what's a good fit for you and the structure of your practice and what you're looking for. I'm trying to think if there's any other big direct in your business. I like to talk a lot about mentors. You really want to have a midwife mentor, a business mentor. That's why I started my consulting company. You want to leverage the experts around you. If mistakes have been made or they have built up relationships that you can now leverage into and connect to. I talk a lot about 4 currencies that are really important for business owners for life. We have the traditional money currency, the dollar bills. Everybody thinks of exchanging for goods and services, but there's 3 others that are really essential. Once you start becoming a business owner, you start thinking in that mindset, you realize the power of the other ones, particularly relationships. So relationships is a currency. It's not so much what you know, it's who you know. If you have connections with the best of the best and you're going to save somebody time, or maybe that person just that you want to get them together, there's value you can create with that. The other currencies are time, which is our most valuable resource. Even the rich, the billionaires and trillionaires, can't buy time. And so time, when we run a business, we want to transition from being self-employed to being a business owner because you want to leverage your experts, your staff, your team that's around you to bring your practice to the next level. And then the last one is knowledge. You want to learn. You always want to have professional development. You want to keep up your skills. You want to always be growing and taking yourself to the next level because that knowledge is going to be leveraged and you may be able to think of something creatively. You may be able to give access to amazing resources purely because of the knowledge you have. And so that's something since 2017 and my practice closed, I've really aggressively, I used to just read books because I had to, I did it for school. That's how we're conditioned, we're trained. You're forced to read and it's a homework mental state. And so I shifted gears to audio podcast and to professional development and to reading. The more I read, the more I want to read. Like you learn about philosophy and history and psychology and in finances, in midwifery and regulations. There's just so much out there, and the more you learn, the better you're going to be able to serve everyone. So I challenge you to look for mentors in your community. There's business network groups. There's the Better Business Bureau that has a lot of networking resources available. Small Business Association. There's little chapters in each community. You can become a member. Leverage the people. If you're a new business, find experienced business people either online or in your community that you're like, oh my gosh, they're where I want to be in 5 to 10 years. you need to learn from them. So you find people out there that inspire you and that will challenge you to that next level. So it's not just the traditional hiring somebody, but getting that win-win situation with a business mentor or a midwife mentor in the community. So there's a lot of great experts out there, and I challenge midwives to put your guard down, know what you know, figure out what you don't know, and leverage and say, okay, am I good at that? Does it make financial sense for me to learn that? I'm not going to spend 2 weeks trying to learn how to put videos on YouTube when I can hire a marketer. I make the knowledge, I make the content, and then I have somebody take care of it for me. So you have to learn your business structure and what makes the most financial and just time sense to have those certain people on your team.